Hello, hello, everyone. So I want to look into the Idaho case from a different perspective. I made my own true crime deck, and all the cards have like double, triple meanings, and I kind of designed them to fill in the blanks of what I felt like I needed throughout the Idaho readings. So we're going to look and see what we can get with this deck. This is an energy reading. It's all alleged, my opinion, not fact. All right, let's see. What will the topic of this be? What are we going to talk about? Okay. Friend. Let's start with Maddie. What do we want to talk about when it comes to friend energy? What do we need to know that we don't know yet? Friend, portal, and thief. All right. Is it fair to say that someone is not who they're pretending to be when it comes to things going in and out of the house, specifically after the unalivings? Why is this important now? Parental figure. Is it fair to say that the message from Maddie is that someone who pretends to be a friend is responsible for removing things out of the house at the direction of another individual after the unaliving? Social media. There it is. Secret society. Social media secret society. Is it fair to say that the message is that a lot of people know about this, but everyone is okay with keeping it quiet because of their version? Is what was taken out of the house by someone who's not who they pretend to be, is that somehow, how do I word this? What role did that play in defense? Aliens, anger. Money and warning. Who from the outside would be in a bad situation? Oh, follow the money. Who is this that gave direction to the person who pretends to be someone they're not, that took something out of the house? Church. I have a confirmation on church. Cleanup. Okay, that's cleanup, church, and secret society. Give me a confirmation of what that means. Self-sabotage. Tunnel. Is it fair to say that certain things that were done to the crime scene may have cleared away some evidence that would have worked against Brian, but they needed to do it anyway because if the evidence was still remaining there, even if it would have helped to convict Brian, it would have left a trail to where if you followed the money, there would be an issue for more than just Brian. Colt. Okay. Let's go with Kaylee. Actually, let's put these back in. If we get any of the same cards coming back out. Sorry if I'm a little hard to understand. I just wanted to see how this reading came out, but I'm still very numb from yesterday. Let's see. Let's go with Kaylee. What's the topic for Kaylee? Plot twist. Okay, what's the plot twist? Drama, two-faced, final ending. There's that warning card again. I need confirmation for drama. Affluent. Oh, military. Weird science. What was the drama that caused things to go from a scaring or a roughing up to a final ending? Somebody was warned about something, but tried to go, I want to say, above someone else's head, but there was already an operation in place here when it comes to weird science, or DRUGS. What was the drama that made it go from scaring to ending? Two cards. Fired. Fired power supply. Somebody who has the pull to get others to do what they want had to make it so that somebody couldn't talk about something. Secrets kept. Had to make it so somebody couldn't talk about something. Secrets kept. What did the person who has that pull not want another person to talk about that made it go from scaring to an ending? Two cards. Royalty, runaway. This is Kaylee's pile. Kaylee was leaving. Royalty is like when you get a royalty for something, you're owed something as a part of something else. It's giving the energy of someone trying to test Kaylee to see what she was going to do with the information that she had in her possession before she got too far out of reach. Can I have a confirmation about that? Republican. That's the person in power. Power supply, royalty, someone in power. I have a very direct confirmation if that's the message from Kaylee. Family assassination. Social media card. Is it fair to say that someone, how do I word this? Someone high up wanted to see what Kaylee was going to do with the information that she had before she got too far away, like out of reach. Is it fair to say that what this is saying is that it's someone that Kaylee, I don't even want to say trusted because that doesn't feel like the right word, but someone that was in Kaylee's life, in her circle, I guess you could say. Is it fair to say that that is the person that was working on behalf of someone with the power or the pool to try and siphon out of Kaylee what she was going to do with the information that she had? Celebrity. It was all a show. Getting Kaylee to come back that weekend was all a show. Solved. All right. Let's go to Xana. Oh. Well, I was going to say, what's the topic? We have death. What do we need to know about the actual night of the passings? Embezzlement. Down the rabbit hole. I said follow the money in the beginning. So what led to the passings can be uncovered if you follow the money. Someone's ego was wounded. Oh, this is connecting to Kaylee's. So someone's trying to siphon information out of Kaylee to see what she knows and see how she plans on using it. Whatever Kaylee's response was to that hurts the ego when it comes to feeling like they're in control of the situation. So I feel out of control. I feel like I can't. Is it fair to say that whoever it was that was in power in some way or had pull in some way felt like they could not control Kaylee, and that was an ego wound being triggered? Dismemberment, yes. I have a major confirmation if that's what you mean. That's the plot twist. Oh, because I said, what was it that made it go from plot twist to final ending? Someone's ego triggered. That's the plot twist that made it part. So, okay, if that's the case, then what was, how do I word this? What about Kaylee's response to being attempted to have information siphoned out of her? What about her response was in some way triggering to someone who felt like they could not control what she was going to do with the information that she had? Two cards. Oh, that's one. Debt. So that's the money. We're following the money. The calculator is grabbing my attention by the way, like in the way of the way that Kaylee either held back or the way that she did speak. It was like what she was saying made too much sense. She was able to connect the dots. Everything was adding up. And because everything was adding up, the person who had the pull or power felt triggered because they were unable to control what she was able to do with the information, and she was making too much sense. Is that the case? Communication. Okay, so she did. Okay, so she did say something, and she didn't hold back. She said something, and what she said made too much sense. What was the tone or the energy of that conversation? Conspiracy theory. Okay. Made too much sense. Everything adding up. Follow the money. Going down the rabbit hole. Something she said led to a plot twist. Hurt someone's ego. Conspiracy theory. It. Is it fair to say that Kaylee either had proof of something or was able to articulate like proving something without proof, or proof, if that makes sense? The way she articulated something made something that previously was viewed as a potential conspiracy, it made it not look like a conspiracy. There was too much truth behind what she was saying. Is that fair to say? Give me a minute. If I could have 3 cards from Xana to, I don't know, I guess make this make more sense. Lies, meeting, caught, or confession. Somebody getting caught in a lie. Oh. Is it fair to say that Kaylee had a feeling something was off because she recognized someone was trying to get information out of her to see what she was going to do with the information? Mind control. All right. Let's actually, let me get 2 cards to confirm from Xana. Very direct confirmation. So the confirmation is for Kaylee gets asked to come back to campus and recognizes, because of a conversation that she has with someone in which she realized they weren't being truthful, or they were being manipulative, or they had ulterior motives. I don't know how to word this. It, like, Kaylee recognizes that something just feels off, and then no longer can trust the person who was previously being used to get information out of her. So, like, I used to be the one to talk to you, and I would get the information that that person needs from you, but now you don't trust me. So now that person doesn't have a way to get this information out of you, and that's a problem. Is that fair to say? Rival. Psyop in reverse, a rival that I'm unable to control the narrative of. Confirmation. It's a church card again. Let's go, Ethan. Let's see. All right. What's the topic that Ethan would like to talk about? Secret program, secret government program. So something that we don't know yet, but will make sense after it's said. Anger, organized crime. Somebody was angry that what was being done behind the scenes was getting pieced together in a very concise way by Kaylee. Delays. What delays? Delays caused by people who didn't belong. Seeing the signs. Is it fair to say that Kaylee was asked to come back so they could see if there was a way to buy time before anything happened with the information that she had? Confession, an accomplice partner in reverse. Is it fair to say that whoever it is that helped Brian in some ways, is it fair to say that that's who Kaylee / Maddie had some kind of proof on in some way? Timeline issue. So they were trying to buy time, but there was a timeline issue and that caused danger. What was the timeline issue? Tunnel. Is it fair to say that whoever is aligned with Brian in some way in this, there was a way to connect that person to something nefarious, which would expose all of that, and that's the rabbit hole of money that we were talking about? Secret weapon couple. The couple would be the person in cahoots with Brian, and then what's the secret weapon? Something someone saw. Oh, all the cards fell on the ground. Something someone saw. Colt. All the cards fell on the ground. Drugs, poison. Is it fair to say that Kaylee and or Maddie witnessed something in which they put the pieces together, a bigger thing that was going on, and someone was trying to siphon information out of them to see how they would use that information because they knew that what the girls saw scared them? Neighborhood. Let me pick those cards up 1 second. Okay, if we have understood this correctly, fire in reverse. Let me read that out, actually. If we have understood this correctly, oh, the light, putting the fire out. Oh, it was in reverse. Something lit a fire under Kaylee and or Maddie when it comes to not feeling like something they saw was okay. And there was an attempt to put the fire out, so to speak, to buy time so that they could, not the girls, like whoever's on the other side, trying to buy time till they can cover up something so that if Kaylee said anything, it would look false because she would say, look, here's the proof. And then they'd go for the proof and there'd be no proof there because it would have been covered up. But something went wrong. Secret trip. Desert. Going out to no man's land. Lack of resources. Not enough resources to prevent, not enough resources to cover up whatever they were trying to cover up so that if Kaylee did say something, the proof wouldn't be there. It's like they didn't have enough time to cover what they needed to cover and had to stop her from being able to use the information in a way that would make too much sense. Corrupted media source. Okay. What are we referencing with things that are not true from the media? What's important about that right now? Breakup. Church again? Needed to separate. One organization needed to separate themselves from another thing that was going on that is pertaining to what Kaylee knew about. Assassination. And that's what led to the call being made so that things unfolded the way that they did. Final ending. Okay. Let's do one card of confirmation from each of the four if we're where we need to be with this message. Who do we start with? Maddie. Organized crime. Okay. That checks out. Kaylee. Organized crime is connected to Xana. Power. Okay. So the organized crime is connected to the person that was in that power position that had some kind of pull. And I almost want to word it as made the call. Ethan. So yes, that would be confirming what this being connected to the power supply, Ethan confirming the message from Xana, and also confirming the connection. So all of this organized crime being connected to someone in power is also connected to what? Legal proceedings. as in Brian's murder. Huh. How is organized crime that's connected to someone in power, how is that all connected to what's happening with Brian in court? How do we reconnect? Two cards. Okay. That's the person in power, Republican. So Brian is not connected to the organized crime. Brian is connected to the person in power. Distraction. Because if we're so focused on what's going on with Brian's team asking for information, not getting it, all the things that are coming up, like change of venue, just all the different things that have happened with Brian in court. It's quite unprecedented, some of the stuff. Is it fair to say that that's a distraction so the focus stays on Brian and doesn't loop back to what's going on behind the scenes with that person in power? Medical emergency flew out. Oh, a political emergency. Is it fair to say that the message is if the focus doesn't stay on Brian, then the focus shifts to the school's role, I guess you'd say, or like potential. They need to keep the focus on Brian because if people start looking deeper than that, it's going to be a major problem because you'd be able to follow the money and the money would connect the other elements behind the scenes. Is that fair to say? Man-made disaster. Confirmation. War. Who would the war be between? Let's say if the focus wasn't on Brian, the war would be between whom and whom? Delays and ego. So trying to buy time versus that person in power's ego decision. I can't risk trying to buy time. I need to make sure that nothing comes back to me. Rival. Oh, I said between who and who, so that's the middle. So trying to buy time, why did trying to buy time not work out? What made it not work out? Male, neighborhood. What about a male in the neighborhood? Manipulating, gaslighting, and control. I almost read that as Brian knew too much too. Con man, fake with a mask on. Caregiver. Government. Do I want to say that? Do I want to say that? Let's see. Like, okay, I guess I do. Allegedly, my opinion, no facts. Is it fair to say that the trying to buy time did not work because someone was starting to connect corrupt officers to what was going on in the background of all of this? Trapped. I have nowhere to go because I can't go to the authorities and I don't know who's up against me. Burial in reverse. I'm trapped. There's nowhere to go. Okay, I'm just going to say it. Is it fair to say that Kaylee and or Maddie had some kind of proof of dirty cops that were involved in all of this being connected, and that person in power could not risk that bridge being connected between organized crime and dirty officials? Affair. That's the connection. Okay. Can I have like a insanely direct confirmation from Kaylee if that's the case? Ain't no mountain high enough. Oh, that's the mountain that they were trying to climb. That's why it was so hard to figure out what to do, because they were up against a mountain or a big force, and or ain't no mountain high enough to get the information through. Confirm what you mean by mountain, please. Health issues, mask on. We had medical emergency with political, so that was political emergency. Now we have health issues. It oh, drugs on the bottom. Drugs, DNA. Oh, mind control. Fear. Is it fair to say that it was a corrupt official that was kind of freaking out because of what Kaylee knew? Top secret. Okay. I have a card from Ethan. AI. Computer chip. Oh, that's the other power because we had Republican. Um, is it fair to say that all of this is essentially saying that Kaylee and or Maddie, I feel more Kaylee, had some kind of physical, like I mentioned before in a reading, like a computer drive thing or something, like something stored on there that proved some element of corruption within the force, and they couldn't be allowed to just have that information because that would have connected that one power of a corrupt official, connected that to the other person that we reference as the link or whoever has that power behind the scenes. Justice in reverse. One last card, and then we're going to wrap this up for now. A confirmation that would make all of this make sense or confirm it directly from Xana. Gift, giving the information. Kaylee said no. Boat, that's my main confirmation on the other deck. Almost as if someone offered to take this proof that Kaylee had and put it in safekeeping. And when Kaylee would not hand it over, they recognized that there was a problem and they weren't able to buy any time. And that with that information, she would be able to connect one power source to the other. Is that fair to say? Colt. And look, I said connect one power source to the other. All the strings coming down. All the different screens. This is what we want you to believe. This is what we want you to believe. This is what you, and it's all connected. Okay, that's it for now. Please remember, this is an energy reading. It's all alleged, my opinion, not fact. Have a good day.